This is insane. Hello, what's up guys? I'm Kyle from KGR, and this is a Nintendo Switch 2. Now, this is all I got for now, but I still plan on buying a few more accessories like the GameCube controller, an extra dock, the camera, and a charger for my JoyCons, my regular JoyCons for the few games that still need them. But today we are going to unbox this as well as compare it to the original versions of like the dock, the Switch itself, the JoyCons, the Pro Controller, what have you. So we're going to put this away for now. In fact, I'll just move these all to the side for now, and we're going to focus on the Switch 2 itself. Which, funny enough, for as big as this box is, I think height-wise, it stands smaller than the red box Switch as well as the Switch OLED. I have a day one Switch, so I can't compare that box for you, so I'm sorry. But you get to see the Switch 2 logo itself, a TV that doesn't get included, the dock, you see what's going on here. And then the side, you got them doing tabletop mode, which I'm fairly confident not many people are going to use, so I might use it, we'll see. Then the other side has the Switch 2 itself being held, and soon it'll be in my hands too. Then the top says Nintendo, bottom shows a serial number as well as other stuff as well. Then the back shows the Switch 2 being pulled out from the dock. It's very weird how it's all one color. There are no extra colored Joy-Cons right now. They're I don't know, it feels very weird. I went with the gray one because I was very boring back then, but I kind of want to get exotic this time, but I don't have that option this time. But without further ado, let's open up the Switch 2. I haven't done a Nintendo unboxing, or at least a console unboxing, I don't think, since the new 3DS XL. Yeah, it's been a minute, but here it is. Oh, my Lanta. Look at it. Let's take a look at the Joy-Cons first. Let's get those out of there. Now, I hear very good things about the analog sticks. I want to try it on the Pro Controller as well, but I'll feel the difference of how good these sticks are, but yeah. But you can still see like the little mushroom little thing going on above that. So I'm hoping that it doesn't get dust easily. I don't know what drift is going to look like for these guys because they said something like, oh, we rebuilt the analog sticks from the ground up, but it's not Hall Effect sticks, but we'll see. But these are big. These actually feel kind of comfy in the hand, you know, for a grown man. Let's compare the left ones first. And the analog stick definitely looks a lot better. It feels better. Like, mainly like in the thumb. Like, it feels like it's more full. Like, it's definitely a bigger analog stick. The buttons feel great as well. This definitely feels a lot better. Like, doing these shoulder buttons right here, yeah, that feels nice. Wow, look at that. Look at that. I mean, we'll just keep that off for now because I want to compare the system itself. Then here's the comparison to the right Joy-Con. Look at these face buttons. Like, look. Man, Nintendo's grown up for sure. There's that new magic C button. This is a magical day. I'm so excited for this. But here is the gargantuan tablet itself with the Switch 2 logo on the back. Now, before we move on, there is a film on top of the Switch 2 screen itself. Don't peel that for the love of God. We're gonna put these right here. And we're gonna pull out our screen protectors before we do anything. Now, if you want a link to the ones that I bought specifically, I will leave a link in the comments. It's gonna be an affiliate link, so it actually helps me out. But from what it looks like, it comes with a little thing, like an easy applicator compared to how it was, what, 8 years ago? So you have it set up so like, I don't know, I think it's already pre-set up from what it looks like. I'm not sure. First, you want to wipe down the screen and all that jazz. Because I don't want the Switch 2 dock scratching my little screen.
A few moments later.
So I screwed up the first application. I have no idea what I'm doing. It tells you to scan a QR code, but I'm using a phone to record my Skycam. So I gotta go on YouTube and figure out how am I installing this, because somehow I'm doing it wrong.
A few moments later.
Okay, so I think I got it. So we gotta take this, pull this down, put this on top, put this on like that. And I got some nasty air bubbles in this. Oh, goodness. And then there's a nasty mark under that, too. Sweet lord. Okay, I mostly got the air bubbles out. It looks terrible. I did a terrible job putting it on. Mainly because of this nasty mark up here. That is the thing that bothers me up there. And there's a bunch of other marks on top of that, too. I'm probably just going to get another one, to be honest. But let's compare the Switch bodies real quick. But look at that. I don't have an OLED to compare this to. But, wow. This thing is absolutely massive. But let's get these JoyCons on. But before we get the JoyCons on, let's just take a look at the rest of this. I am so scared of these side things breaking off. As someone who works retail, I'm very nervous to see how this is gonna hold up and survive. But we'll find out. Put this right there. Ooh. Put this right there. Ooh. And those aren't falling out easy. There's a little bit of wiggle room, but it's not terrible. Wow. I mean, while we're here, I guess let's turn this on real quick. Nintendo Switch 2. It has music! I didn't think Switch 2 would have music! But I will set this up whenever it's actually time to actually set this thing up. Honestly, I didn't expect that. I didn't expect there to actually be music there. So go Nintendo! Good job on that one! I'm gonna get all the extra garbage out of the way. Yeah, that screen protector looks terrible. I'm just gonna buy another one. Alright, let's move this over here for now. Let's get the rest of the goodies. First up, the fact that it's just a brick now. This is a big brick. This is insane. Got the Nintendo logo on there. Wow. Look at that. We're gonna plug that in eventually. Then our USB-C cable. How long is this cable? I want to assume this is probably anywhere from what? 6 to 10 feet? I'd say let's look at the paperwork. But it's mostly all over the box. And I don't think it says so, and I don't feel like reading. But let's not get this tangled up. Oh, goodness. I think this is like less than 3 feet. Not as long as I expected. But because it's USB-C, you can literally just get a longer cable. And as long as you have the Nintendo brick, you should be fine. And then we got the grip for the Joy-Con 2. The comfort grip. I want to see how this feels. Because I remember when it comes to the Pro Controller, it took me a while to get that because they were just sold out everywhere. So I had to import mine from Japan. So I had to use a comfort grip for a fair bit until I finally got it and I never touched it since. So let's see how these feel. Oh, those are magnetic too. Got it. Oh, okay. This just feels like a bigger Joy-Con grip. This is not going to be my preferred way to play, especially with the somewhat hard edges that you see here. But I see why they have the hard edges there. But if we compare it to the original Joy-Con grip, the original dog face controller, it feels a lot nicer and rounder on your hands in this way. But when it comes to like where your hand placement is, it feels somewhat better here. So I feel like out of the two, this one overall is more comfy in your hands. It doesn't feel like it's cramping all that much, and I feel like a decent amount of people will be fine with this setup. But I like the roundness of this, but again, I get why they couldn't do it. And we're gonna take these back off, and I'm probably just gonna bury this in a drawer and probably never touch it again. And then we got the Switch 2 dock. Wow! I know that there's a fan built into this, but I didn't think it would need a fan from the bottom. I didn't think it would need airflow that much. Holy crap, this is actually pretty intense. We've got the nice rounded corners on the top here compared to what we had previously with the previous generation. Wow, look at that. We got the 2 USB ports on the side, which I'm going to be using for my my GameCube adapters, which honestly, I'm curious on how much I'm going to need them now since I'm going to have the Switch, the GameCube controller, the Wavebird 2.0, some would say. But then this just comes right off, and then you see your USB-C, your HDMI, as well as your Ethernet, which, it's crazy how it took until the Switch OLED to finally get that. But man, this is crazy. I feel like on paper, if you want better airflow, you could just take this off, I guess. But I'm sure it'll be fine. But now that's all done, let's take a look at the Pro Controller next. Wait a minute. Where's the HDMI? How did I miss the HDMI? Is it under here? Oh. You gotta lift this up. There's your information. Here's your HDMI and your straps. Guys, I'm stupid. Wow, this is the ultra high speed HDMI, so we're gonna get 4K 120, baby! When I first heard, first off, look at that, that is, whoa. That is interesting, for sure. Let's put these on the JoyCons. But anyway, when I first heard the fact that, like, it's gonna be, what's it, up to 4K 120. First off, I doubt it's gonna be able to do that. But, like, the fact that it is trying to get those kind of specifications, pretty much with what Xbox Series S as well as PS5 are all going for, like, that's honestly very, very crazy. I feel like this is the first time that Nintendo has tried this hard since the Super Nintendo. And from what I heard, apparently Super Nintendo Switch was up for debate when it comes to naming. But I guess Switch 2 was a lot easier to market, so sounds good. So let's take this off. And how does this go on? Like, I guess you just gotta match the minus with the minus right there. Okay. Well, I'm gonna have a mouse pad here when I do that, so I don't know how often I'm going to use this gimmick, but this is definitely going to be much better for it because, like, it's not going to be grinding directly on the SL and SR buttons. So I'll, like, keep these on hand. And again, we'll set up the red one too, set that up. Yeah, look at that. And then you just press that, and it just flies right off. Nice. Be careful, I guess, when you're doing, you know, activities. But yo, who's ready for Tomodachi Life 2? Yo, I'm so excited for that. I guess we'll just set this up like this for now, like just to, like, you know, look fancy for the rest of the video. But anyway, Nintendo Switch 2 Pro Controller. Oh man, look at that. You got the programmable buttons on the sides. Look at them just comfortably holding the controller, all happy and nice. Well, let's open it up. This one we actually need a box cutter for, because the other one you just open with a flap. Like there's no seal on there, which I kind of wish Nintendo would do the seal on them, just so like retailers can be like, hey, I know this wasn't tampered with, but hey, what you gonna do? Oh my goodness, why was that so hard? But anyway, let's slide this out. The USB-C cable, which I have plenty of. We're just gonna bury that in the drawer. I heard that the Switch 2 Pro Controller is a little bit smaller compared to the standard. And I'm looking at it and it kind of... Whoa! Oh, I get it now. Yeah, I heard from... It was some YouTube channel that I found that they managed to get their hands on the Switch 2 Pro Controller and just, you know, the whole event. But yeah, they tried the Switch 2 Pro Controller and they were saying how much they love the analog sticks on it. But I get it. I feel what they're feeling. It feels like there's a lot less friction. I'm trying to tell. Oh. So there is no friction from the stick itself going around the rim. That I love a lot. It feels a lot smoother to play around with. D-pad is the biggest thing I'm worried about. And it actually feels good. Oh my god. Because when I compare it to the Switch 1 Pro Controller, size-wise, like, huh, how does this feel? That feels a little bit wider. This feels a little bit, like, more crunched up together. But I hated this D-pad so much because of how easily you could just press the whole thing down. While this feels like a proper Nintendo controller. I can actually see myself, like, you know, doing another playthrough of Mario Wonder with this D-pad and actually feel comfortable. Because it was so easy to do accidental inputs going up and down on this D-pad, which I don't predict that happening here. And from what they were saying, they didn't have that experience either. This feels nice. And it has a beautiful matte finish, and it's kind of pearlescent in there as well when you see it in person. I'm excited for Spawn Wave to tear this thing apart, because you know how they have that thanks to all game fans, like on the motherboard that you can see when you move the analog stick down? I wonder if there's anything similar like that here, and I don't feel like tearing this thing down. But this is nice. Alright, guess what we have next is Mario Kart World. Which, I mean, there's not really much to really unbox. It's game. Decide which Switch 2 logo, Nintendo logo, and now like it's not the standard red with the same text font spine. I'm gonna miss that because I liked how uniform it looked, but I like how this has like a lot more personality to it. But then there's the back to it as well. This is gonna be cool. But yeah, I plan on getting the camera for the living room, but because I'm getting a Switch 2 dock out there as well. But when it comes to like using that functionality in here, I might just use one of my extra webcams I have laying around. So I don't feel like lugging that thing back and forth. Because I'll use it if my friends get it. But if my friends aren't going to get it, then what's the point? Other than, I guess, the Mario Party stuff. Because I grew up with iToy on PS2. And if you're too young to know what that is, that's pretty much Kinect on 360 or Xbox One. But for PS2. It was pretty nifty. I loved it at the time. But then when you open it up, you get the Switch 2 logo. And look at that. That is crazy. Actually, I have the Mario Kart 8 cartridge right in here. So they're roughly the same size, but there is a thing to identify these two from each other, apparently. Oh, it's the little identifier right there, like right in the bottom right corner. That's the big difference. Got it. Even though this is a really red case, so it's a little bit hard to see. If you want to see what the reversible cover looks like, there you go. Because I saw something where, like, this was going to be completely blank, and I would have been very disappointed if that was the fact, because it sucks enough that we're not getting, manuals in there anymore. So I'm happy that they're still doing reversible cover art, because this is what feels like the last physical generation for the Switch. Or for video games, I mean. Ooh, oh, that's a lot of... Wow. Okay, hold up. Look at that kind of dust cover in there. I see that getting broken and bent and not working in the future. I don't know. So we're going to tuck that in there a while. We're going to tuck that in there. Nice. Now, normally this is the part where I show myself... Train, can I help you? I live in a pretty noisy area. It's kind of hard to be a professional on YouTube when you got bells ringing one way and trains ringing another, and then a fire alarm going off somewhere else. Anyway, this is normally the part where I set things up, but that's going to be boring, and I feel like doing that on my own time, because that's going to have a lot of private information, and quite frankly, I'm just too lazy to do that. But it's so crazy. I remember getting my Switch 1 at a GameStop at a midnight release, and now here we are 8 years later, moving on to Switch 2. This is going to be phenomenal. I can't wait. Well, time for me to, you know, go under the desk, set all this up, and have fun, I guess. So anyway, thank you for joining me on this Switch 2 unboxing. If you're new and you like what you saw, you know what to do. In the description, there's going to be my link tree, and I guess I will see you on the next one. And I hope you get a Switch 2, if you want one. I hope they don't become too difficult to get, so... have fun.